What's up, everybody? Good morning. So I originally wrote a script that was going to be, dogging Xbox. However, with the news that they are partnering with Amazon, it changed my entire tune. Like always, according to their mission statements, they want to meet gamers where they are, and this goes right in line with that. So we're going to be talking about that today, and we have a bunch more on the docket. So let's get into our panel. Gonna get introduced and everything, and then we'll jump right into it. All right, how is everybody doing today?
Got my coffee. I'm happy.
Yes, same.
Yeah. Or I chugged my coffee immediately when I woke up. So.
Right on. you had a decent busy morning this morning. Yeah,
I did.
So
I did.
understandably so.
And I still got back in time.
Yes, you did. That tripped me out. Oh my gosh.
Excellent work.
Right on.
I know.
Yes.
I might have gone like a little 7 over the speed limit, but that's not much.
No.
Come
Especially where you're at. I think it's 80 miles an hour for for the highway. So you're our Autobahn over there.
Yeah. It depends on which highway you're on. I know in my little area of where I live, like if you go 1 over, the police will pull you over. And I'm like,
whoa.
Y'all really need that money, don't you?
They do.
But the
my
police
goodness.
station is like right next to my house, like a block and a half up. And I'm like, that's the police station? The post office is bigger. Like, what's going on? I was like, no wonder they pull us
That's why
all
they're
over.
fundraising.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's how I look
Most
at it
people have a
too.
bake sale, but okay.
Mhm.
Or muffins,
right?
or just any kind of pastry.
I know.
You know?
Get a taco truck to sit out front.
Yes.
Like,
Oh yeah.
have them double their prices and give you half. Jeez.
It's like the sign.
If you knew a place,
police
like
need
honestly,
money.
if you knew a place had a taco truck out front of it, how much more likely are you going to? Is it that you're going to go to that place? It's like, oh, they got a taco truck too.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna because street tacos here are so good. Like,
You guys are lucky.
yeah, but I mean, I live in Little Mexico, so
Right on. Right on. I was in Arizona for a while, and we would go like right up into the border or whatever, and there would be hot dog little vendors or whatever, and they wrap it in bacon, and then like you can dress it all up, dude. It was pretty good. It's pretty good.
it was not
Gotta
for our
admit it.
hearts, but for our bellies.
Soul food. Nah,
Soul food.
I don't know what soul food is. Like I've heard that term so many times and no idea what it actually means.
Well, so the principle is it's good for your soul. It makes you happy, but it's not necessarily good for your health.
So like comfort food.
Yes, basically. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, same one and the
easy.
same.
And it can be different for like different people and different cultures and stuff like that. Like, so for me with my family, our soul food is like, get out them meatballs or get out the gnocchi, and,
Yeah.
like,
Gnocchi. Oh man. I haven't had that in forever.
It's okay. I'll have to come up that way to Canada and for a visit, and I'll make you some. I make really good homemade gnocchi.
Oh, right on. Right
Oh,
on.
okay.
Yeah.
I think I've made it once, and it was such a pain in the ass. I was like, okay, I know how to do it. I'm never going to do it again. I'm just going to buy store-bought from this point.
Yeah.
It's easier to make that than it is to make like Alfredo sauce. Like, Alfredo sauce bugs me because I'm like, you're constantly stirring it. So you're like, okay, I need 3 of you to come over here and cook this. So that I can stay on this.
Gnocchi, I remember just being extremely tedious.
Yeah.
Like, it's not hard. It's just boring.
It is, because you're just like, you have to have the potatoes and the eggs and just the right amount of flour, and you got to mix it all slowly and get that ratio just right. So.
And you get that imprint on the back of the fork and all that stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. I love it.
Welcome to our cooking live stream.
I know.
We're talking
That's
about
right.
food.
So you get that gnocchi, and then you sit down at your game console with a little bowl of spaghetti sauce, so that you can just bite size that if you want, instead of having a whole thing. Yeah. Or take your little fork and dip it in there and eat while you're gaming. So
Your fingers never get messy.
that's
great.
right. That's right.
So this is gaming related.
It is.
There we go.
It is.
We
Or
brought it right
you
back.
get your spouse, if you were lucky enough to get a spouse that will watch you game, they can just feed you while you're gaming.
I
You
don't.
have to have the right kind of game for that.
Yeah.
the right kind of like story-driven game for that.
I get that.
Right on. Okay. So yeah, my wife, she's she's like an old woman saying, games for the youngins. It's like, no.
Yeah.
You better hope that she has the hearing of an old woman, because if she hears you say that, I don't think she's gonna be too
she's
pleased.
dead to rights right now. I'm the
So-
only one awake.
So we can just let her know that I said that, because I'm
I'm not.
I've been told many times that I'm like the perfect woman because I'll game, and I'm like, there are many women that game, you know. And when I was working at the mechanic shop, the owner's son came over and was a manager, and he was just like, "You play video games?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was just like, "And you're allowed to play video games even though you're
Allowed.
married?" And I was like,
Same.
I was like, "Yeah, like
I feel
why?"
that.
And he goes, "Man, can you talk to my fiance?" And I was just like, "Oh, brother, like, you should have chosen better." Like,
Ouch.
I told her that too. I was just like, "You got to ease up on the video games. Just give him like an hour or two a week or something. You know, it'll be better for you."
Yeah.
Men only want one thing, and it's for their significant others to play video games.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, freaking whenever Sony stopped making the beep whenever they turned it on, I was like, yes, now we can get something. You know?
Exactly, because that thing used to alert everybody. Like my ex would like pop up and be like, "Ugh,
Yeah. No, I'm right there with you.
shouldn't you be in bed?" And I'd be like, "Shouldn't you not be my dad?"
Shouldn't you be in bed? Yeah, it's a good idea. Help me move this console and TV into the bedroom.
If you'd let me play video games during normal hours, like,
Right
we
on.
wouldn't have this problem.
Right on. Okay, so we're here with Gamer Geek, and Leon Kennedy makes her week, and Nos the indie boss. And I am Dark Fox. So today we've got a bunch on the docket. We're going to be getting into the partnership between Amazon and Xbox, and how awesome that is for gamers, and you know, also their bottom line. Let's not be mistaken, they're gonna probably make a ton of money from this, but it is really good for gamers. But I saw this on where was I can't remember. I guess I was just scrolling some social media, and I saw this, and I wanted to know if you guys have seen this before. So I'm going to switch it over to that real quick, and then I want you guys to give me your take on that. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Here, give me one quick second before we go there. Let me see, because I'm not sure. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure you guys can hear the audio too. So
We shall see.
we shall see. All right, we are heading over.
Yeah, for a second, it's reminding me of Far Cry Primal.
Yeah, a little bit. I was thinking Jurassic Park meets Call of Duty 19 here. It's fun. Oh my god, don't trust the little ones.
All right.
So what are we thinking about this one so far?
I think I need to know more.
Right on. Yes,
I like what I see.
yeah. So this title is called Ferocious, and it's done by a studio. I want to say OMYOG. I have no idea what it stands for. no clue whatsoever. All I know is like you guys talking backstage, it is like a Far Cry mixed with like maybe a Turok or something like that. Like
Yeah.
you had that little I don't want to call him a Microraptor because he was much bigger than that. It's probably like a Velociraptor is about the size of a Velociraptor, what they really are in real life. And you can use him as a companion to kind of search and destroy or whatever, you know, search and attack, search and find it. And
Oh my God, it's like your little German Shepherd.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I want one.
And so
call him dog meat.
the only
I
thing
call him Fluffy.
the only thing I know about the studio is that they're German. They're based out of Cologne, Germany. And that's it. This thing came out of nowhere. If you go to their Twitter page, which we might do, but they have been keeping people updated on what they're working on. And to be honest, it looks fantastic. It looks so good. Looks so good.
It really does. I mean, like, yeah, it's like Far Cry Primal and stuff like that, but like I'm watching it and I'm like, it's like Call of Duty. Okay, guys. I was like, it's like Call of Duty meets Tomb Raider meets Jurassic Park. It was pretty good.
Right?
It's awesome.
Yeah.
And then I saw the really tiny dinosaur and I'm like, don't trust it. Like, so it's the little ones.
I'm gonna look into this more. I've already wish listed it. This looks really neat.
Nice. Right on. So we got to give a shout out to the German studios out there. Apparently they are really good at what they do. Really good. So, you know, hats off to
I
them.
wish there was a release date, but yeah.
They might still be working on it though.
Oh yeah, probably.
And IGN has some stuff on it already.
They do, yeah. I think that's where I saw it. I might have been scrolling Instagram or something like that and saw this and I was like, holy crap.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Right on.
And it's going to be on Xbox, PC, and PlayStation.
Yes. Thank you, Gamer.
You're good. I had to double check.
So this is considered an indie game. That's oh good.
Yeah.
Okay, so Nos, our indie boss, will be checking this out.
Yes.
And we'll have our full game review later.
Yes.
I have. I won't be able to play this and stream this with my potato PC. I'm halfway through building a new one, so
right on. Okay.
I've got most of the important parts.
Yeah, my son. It's so funny. He got one of those refurbished ones from Amazon.
Yeah.
And for Christmas from my ex, and he's just like, why is my game not working right, and why is my ping this low? And I was just like, oh, you're so precious. Like, this isn't even a refurbished gaming PC. What are you talking about? And he's like, well, what if I upgrade my RAM? And I was like, what if you just build a whole computer? I'll show you how.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. Hang on a second. Was he complaining that his ping was too low? Oh,
you're so precious. Yeah. I was like, you're adorable. Like, and then he's like, he called me in one day and he's like, Mom, look at my FPS. And I was just like, no. Like, I don't know.
Your FPS is too high.
I was like, I don't care. Like, I'm sorry. And he's just like, but Mom, and I'm like, dude, I'm in the middle of something on my game, so I'll see you later.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah, this looks great, man. Thanks for showing me this.
Yeah,
no idea.
Heck yeah.
It looks really
It's
fun.
so hard. It is so incredibly difficult to stay on top of all of the good indie games that are out there right now, that are going to be made, that are currently already released. Like, I keep finding new ones. I'm like, how the hell did I not know about this? It looks amazing. And now here's another one.
Yeah, no, that backlog just keeps getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And there's a summer sale. And
I know. I have my little notebook that I'm writing everything down in.
Right. It's so many. You do have to keep a list, like legit.
I do have to keep a list, like.
Oh yeah. Indies are really, they're killing it this year for sure.
Yeah. Goodness. Well, especially with our big console companies being like, we're pretty much taking the year easy, you know. Like.
I have a story for you. I had a story for that. But we're gonna get a little bit into the pop culture realm of things. How many of you guys like Shrek, the Shrek series?
I like it, yeah.
Yeah.
First movie is one of my favorites.
Right on.
I don't think I could reliably tell you what happens in any of the other ones. I think they're all kind of a blur.
Right on.
But the first one, I feel like I know I could probably recite it.
Yes. Yeah. So go for
I have
it.
I have a friend that always has me say "do the roar" from the second one.
That's the
and
fourth one.
Or the fourth one, and
Yeah.
I'll be like, "Do the roar, daddy."
I love you, daddy.
Yeah, like I'm always getting a phone call, like, you know, when they're watching that, and I'll be like,
I get that reference, but I couldn't tell you what movie it was from until you said it.
Yeah.
I'll say hello, and I'll get, no, I'll be like, "Do the roar."
So I love the Shrek series. 1, 2, we don't talk about 3, and 4 is probably my favorite one. Okay, it wrapped up really, really well. Now I'm afraid, like, how, you know, these sequels and reboots and everything like they're going, it's not going to be great. But Eddie Murphy just came out and said he's already done voice work for the 5th one, and apparently they're doing a donkey spinoff movie. So let's get into his comments really quick, and then we'll come back and discuss.
Okay.
Right on. Just make sure. Okay. So Eddie Murphy says he's already recorded some Shrek 5. I don't know who this is pinned by, but it's by Variety. We'll get the journalist here in a second. But we started doing Shrek 5 months ago, Murphy told Collider. I did this. I recorded the first act, and we'll be doing it this year. We'll finish it up. Shrek is coming out, and Donkey's gonna have his own movie. We're gonna do a donkey as well. So we're gonna do a Shrek, and we're doing a donkey movie, which I think is absolutely nuts. It's crazy. Did you guys like Puss in Boots: The Last Wish?
Didn't see it. Yeah.
It was cute.
Mhm.
It wasn't what I thought it would be, but I honestly did not like the first Puss in Boots.
Right. Okay.
So I was pleasantly surprised with The Last Wish.
Right on. Okay.
I thought it was pretty cute. Having Puss and little kitty soft paws was just hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, good combo.
Yes.
Donkey's great. I think it could be a good thing. But it could also just totally ruin it.
Yes. Yeah.
So
they're walking a fine line with
always,
Donkey.
Yeah, I'm always a little leery because, like, I was so excited for Puss in Boots, and then when I watched it, I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm so underwhelmed. Like,
From what I understand, like a lot of people have reliably told me that Last Wish is a very, very good movie.
yeah.
I would have to
Outside
agree.
the context of like the Shrek world, like it is a good movie about Puss dealing with an existential crisis.
Yeah,
So
and
that's why.
and they did it well.
Yeah, I mean, again, I haven't seen it. It's on my list.
Yeah.
I will watch it at one point because I love Antonio Banderas. I think he's hilarious.
Yes.
Oh, gosh,
and his
yes.
voice, dude, it's crazy.
He's just all around funny.
I enjoyed him in I think he was in the second Hitman's. I think he was in the Hitman's Bodyguard's Wife or something. Oh my gosh. Like seeing him as a bad guy assassin dude, like just it was hilarious.
Wasn't he in the third Expendables movie?
You know, I don't know. I don't remember.
I think the
He was-
furthest I went was like the second Expendables. I don't think I went any further than that.
He was in the second or third. It was the same one that had Kelsey Grammer in it.
And this is
He
just
was
for
actually-
anyone.
Yeah.
Oh, go for it. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
For anyone who cared about that, this is Zach Sharf. It was pinned by Zach Sharf of Variety. Sorry. Go ahead. Go go nuts.
Oh, that's pretty much all. I just enjoy everything he's in. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's actually got really, really good comedic timing. Like he is a funny person. Like that.
Yes.
That's the thing that always gets me. It's like you got all these actors who are always in dramatic roles or serious roles, and then you give them the opportunity to be funny, and they're hilarious.
Yeah.
Like Chris Hemsworth's a great example of that. Nobody thought that he was as funny as he actually is.
Yeah.
But what I was going to say about Donkey's movie, I don't know. I mean, Donkey as a main character in his own movie, it depends to me how they do it.
Right.
If they're going to surround him with a cast of like charismatic characters that kind of tone him down a bit, because he is a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Donkey is a lot.
Eddie Murphy can be a lot, so
yeah, so you kind of need to temper that a little bit, I think.
Yeah.
So
the dichotomy
know,
between Shrek and Donkey were polar.
Oh,
they're
great.
polar opposites, you know. So
and it works.
Yeah.
Right. And add Fiona into that mix, and it's just
she's like
perfect.
the mediator. She's like, hey, calm down on Donkey, and she's always calming Shrek down, you know. So,
she's right in the middle of the two extremes.
Yes.
Right.
Oh yeah. So I think
so
it's
got something.
As long as we can make waffles.
If you've got characters to balance that out, I think it could be really good.
Yep. Same. Yep. So Shrek 5, I'm not really looking forward to it. It's kind of like Toy Story 4, or now the Toy Story 5 movie they're working on. I don't really need a sequel. Me neither. I don't really need a sequel, but I will be checking it out because the Shrek series has been so consistently good, right? And as far as Donkey, I'm gonna have to see a trailer first to see what that was all about. But moving on to our next one, we have an illegal streaming service called Jetflix that 5 guys developed, and now they're being convicted for it. Apparently this is back in 2007, which is absolutely nuts, and they had the biggest Rolodex of movies, bigger than Netflix and Prime and Hulu combined. But now they're getting convicted. Wow. So I'm assuming they're going to get a lot of time.
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
They are the Napster of the streaming world.
Yeah, there you go. There you go, man. But let's get into the article real quick. It's kind of a long read. I'll try to skip over parts that, you know, skip the fluff, but let's get into that article real quick.
Okay.
So starting as early as 2007, Christopher Dahlman, Douglas Corson, Felipe Garcia, Jared, that sounds French to me, Jerichois, and Peter Huber ran Jetflix, the DOJ said, noting that the website used sophisticated computer scripts and software to find illegal copies of TV shows that were downloaded and hosted on Jetflix servers. DOJ said the men reproduced hundreds of thousands of copyrighted television episodes without authorization, noting that Jetflix had tens of thousands of paying members, which is crazy. The defendants conspired to operate an online streaming service that unlawfully reproduced and distributed thousands of copyrighted television programs for their own personal gain, U.S. Attorney J.S.M. Frierson for the District of Nevada said in a news release. This is another example of our steadfast commitment to combat intellectual property theft and to hold accountable those who violate intellectual property rights. So this is a big no-no. I totally don't agree with this kind of theft, but in the case of something like Pow World, it's it's kind of an homage, but they're doing their own thing with the game that I totally 100% agree. Or
with
oh no, nothing broke, did it?
No.
Oh, okay, good. Oh my gosh.
I would have screamed. Okay, well, like
yes.
we were talking about with Pow World, it's just like for us artists, like when I draw Green Lantern, it might be, you know, looking a lot like this comic reference that I'm drawing it from, but I'm doing it in my own style. As long as I add my own flair to it and change things, then I can get away with it. You can still get the cease and desist, but getting sued over it is a lot harder because like our laws for artistic interpretation and everything like that are vastly different. I don't think they would be in as much trouble if they were just like, say that they ripped things or streamed them or whatever on their DVR and then pulled it off there and then hosted it on a website. What they're in trouble for the most is the fact that they were charging a membership.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, had they not done that, it wouldn't be as bad.
Yeah.
You know, it's taking the money for it that makes it the worst.
Yes.
If you're gonna, I mean, it's different for me. Like if my brother had recorded something back in the day on a VHS tape and then let his friend borrow it, like nobody would have blinked twice. But now if I'm like, okay, well, here, I'll pull it off my DVR or whatever it was that we were using back in 2007.
Yes.
And I let my friend, use it and watch it on a flash drive.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody would have thought anything of it. Nobody would have been any of the wiser.
Yeah.
But if I uploaded it on the internet and I was like, hey, if you pay me $5, I'll let you have a copy of this.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Then that's where the trouble comes in. I also think like it's a huge difference between being like, here, you can borrow my movie, than being like, here, I'm gonna let everyone in the entire world borrow my movie if they want to.
Yeah.
Because
were they
then you're
taking
taking
credit cards for this?
all that money. Yeah,
Ooh.
I think they were.
That's a great question.
Yeah, that means that these transactions could be tracked.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they were trying to make this legitimate with, I mean, what the hell did they think would happen?
I know. I don't know. However, real quick, so apparently, specifically Dahlman, I didn't read down this far, and bad Fox, and Hooper were convicted by a jury for conspiracy to commit criminal copyright infringement. Dahlman himself was also convicted of 2 counts of money laundering and 3 counts of misdemeanor criminal copyright infringement. Misdemeanor, okay. Corson, Garcia, Jerichoa, and Huber are facing a maximum penalty of 5 years in prison, while Dahlman is facing a maximum sentence of 48 years in prison. Holy moly.
So that must mean like he was the head honcho behind all of this.
That's what it feels like. Yeah.
The ringleader.
Yeah. It could have been something as simple as those guys, like I said, recorded stuff on their DVR, or like with my ex-husband, when we built his computer,
Mm-hmm.
like I set it up with a video card that you could plug it into the TV.
Very
and
cool.
I could essentially record TV shows
Mm-hmm.
on his computer as if it were a DVR.
Okay.
I feel like if it was something I was doing today, I would be in trouble for that. You know what I mean? But, back in 2004, nobody batted an eyelash about it.
Yeah.
So it's probably the ones that are at the 5-year were probably like, well, we didn't know. We just gave him copies of our TV shows that
Right.
we pulled.
The
or
Variety
something.
article, though, that does say that they were using computer scripts to
Ooh, yeah.
scour piracy services, including
yeah.
Pirate Bay and Torrent Z or Torrent Z for my American friends, for illegal copies of TV episodes, which they then downloaded and hosted on Jetflix servers.
Boy.
So, and you had this centralized too. So you basically took, hang on a second. Well, they took the decentralized nature of torrent files and figured it'd be a good idea to put them all in one place
And charge for it.
and charge for it. What? Who was paying for this? First of all, I'm curious. Like, I'm
That's a
genuinely curious.
good
Why
question.
why
Oh my
would
gosh.
you do that?
It's
why,
the hangers
why would you
on.
pay a subscription fee to, unless they made it seem like, hey, this is legit.
Yeah.
And they were selling it to people like, hey, check out Jetflix. It's legit. It's got all of these movies in HD quality or 4K quality or whatever. Well,
Yeah.
maybe not 4K at the time, but
Right.
and they were just trying to make it seem like this is a legitimate streaming service. And it's got all these movies from all of your other streaming platforms all in one place.
Yeah.
And then just hoping that the US government was like, we got bigger fish to fry.
Yeah.
I really want to look in. I hope there's a movie made about this.
Yeah, dude, there will be. There will be. There will be.
And I hope it gets pirated.
The irony. It'd be so ironic. Oh my gosh. I think that you guys did so great on that. But we're gonna move on to our next one. So I gotta look at my notes on this one. But it's a producer. He was with Halo, and he worked with
Destiny.
Thank you. Yes, Destiny. Yes.
Yeah, I've got some things to say about this.
And so, this guy, he believes that that the live service model for gamers is better than the $60, kind of linear story or open world or whatever. He believes that a live service is better. for exactly, yeah, for gamers. Let's get into it, and then we'll give the analysis right after. Oh gosh, hold on one quick second. That last one, I need to be better. I'm trying to be better at this. So this one was pinned by Eddie McCooch, the last one that we did with the with Jetflix. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Is that
Sorry, I'm laughing about something totally unrelated. Not the name.
McCutch? Let's say McCutch.
Okay.
GameSpot. McCutch. I'm sorry. I did this. Sorry if we butchered your name, sir. It is totally unintentional.
And again, I'm laughing about something completely unrelated.
Right. Yeah. Yes. All right. This one's another chunker, so we'll just try to pass through it.
You talking about me or the article?
The article. Calm down, you.
Hey, we don't do personal attacks here.
Yeah.
I don't know,
Especially
Nos. You and your
friends.
blushometer.
It was not an attack. It was
You
an
do the side.
observation.
You do the side ones, and
It
then
was
I
an
get teased
observation.
relentlessly.
Observation. Oh,
I'm sticking with it.
let's do it.
I'm just messing with you.
This one's by Mike Stubbs, PC Gamer. Looks like I'm gonna have to break this up here. And this guy. So this is coming from what is Tongue, something Tongue. I didn't write his name down. Joe Tongue. Okay, thank you, Nas. Always felt like in the $60 box product model that I was having to make decisions that were not in the best interest of players, said Tongue. It was in the best interest of how do we sell as many copies in the first 48 hours as we can. One of the huge strengths of the games as a service model is you can be long-term. You can think long-term in terms of what is best for the player and how does that overlap with what is best for the company. I think it allows you to make much, much, much better decisions overall. And then the second portion, and he says, I would wager that any developer who has ever worked in the $60 box product model up until the point where E3 was canceled has a story about the E3 build, said Tongue. It's like, let's jam as much BS vaporware into the build as we can in the next 3 months because we have to have a huge showing at E3 because it's our one opportunity to talk to our audience before we launch the game. I would have to wager that some hugely significant percentage of those E3 efforts ended up on the cutting room floor because they were half-baked and caused people to crunch and really have to make huge sacrifices to get it in. But I bet a bunch have never even made it into the game because of the way that you develop those things. So that's my favorite example of hugely impactful decisions that were not about what is best for the player. So we will yes, go for it.
I was gonna say, like, okay, I get what he's saying, but at the same time, like, that had nothing to do with the player. That had everything to do with you trying to capture attention to make sales.
Right.
You
The
were trying to win
$60
a pissing contest.
Right.
Yeah,
And that can go both
this-
ways with live services also. But go ahead. Sorry.
Exactly. The $60 box price, you can fit things. I mean, come on. Look at Helldivers. How much does that cost? I'm sorry. What? $30 in a $70 game world? What?
Yeah.
And it's online. And oh, I'm sorry. You know, like, Bethesda servers allow like what, 25 players per world, and that thing is crashing constantly. And how many hundreds do you have in Helldivers? Yeah, I'm talking to you, Bethesda. Fix your stuff.
Yeah.
But think about it, like, you know, the whole argument of E3 was about bringing all the developers, all the consoles, all the everything together and having a huge expo for gamers.
We took them for granted.
It wasn't geared at what was best for gamers in any way, shape, or form. It was a giant advertisement.
Right. Yeah.
So you can't tell me that like these presentations that you put together that ended up on the cutting room floor weren't what's best for gamers. It wasn't about the gamers.
Yeah.
It was about doing commercials and advertisements and getting attention for your game. And yeah, it was the biggest thing ever, but it's been 4 years.
Yeah.
So why are you even bringing E3 into this? Everybody has started doing their own thing. And so now your advertisements are your own you know, or it's done with whatever company you're working with, whether it be Nintendo, PlayStation, Xbox, or all of them.
Yeah.
That's now like on you if you do it the same way that you did with E3.
Yeah.
You know, and I get it. E3, you had so much in such a small amount of time, and you had to make it big and attention grabbing, or you were just kind of like lost in the crowd.
Yeah.
And I do get that. So yes, I see what he's saying as far as it probably ended up on the floor because it was just a bunch of attention grabbing BS. But it had nothing to do with whether it was good or not for gamers, because it was literally about your company getting attention so that it could make that money when the game came out. The gamers didn't even enter into their mind when they were thinking about this. And now he's trying to be like, well, you know, we couldn't do what was best for the gamers because we essentially lied to them in these advertisements. Well, hello. All you do is that sort of thing. You know?
Live services aren't immune to that.
It's like watching the previews for the movie and you're like, oh man, I can't wait to see that. And then you watch the movie and you're like, where was that part from the preview?
it got cut.
A lot of things that are in trailers don't actually make it into the movie.
100%, yes. Yep. Yeah. Right on. Nos, the indie boss.
Oh boy.
Yes.
So when I saw this headline, I'm like, I wonder where he's going to go with this. And I read this, and I have to admit, I was a little irritated. A little bit irritated. So where do I even start? Okay. So the first thing I wrote, because I wrote some notes, and the first thing I wrote was, it sounds like Joe wants to make soap operas instead of movies, which is fine, but just don't say they're better.
Right.
Don't say that a live service game is better than a $60 boxed product model. And by the way, $60, where have you been, Joe?
I know.
$60 anymore.
Yeah. We're in a $70 world now for some ridiculous reason.
Yeah, it's only going to go up, at least for AAA. And I mean, when your focus is on how many units you're trying to sell, instead of just making a good game and letting it sell itself,
yes,
no wonder you're having a problem, Joe. Like the live service games, I get it. I get the appeal. It's not for me, but I understand the appeal. And by the way, I should have said this off the top. Joe is developing a MOBA-inspired battle royale, so
he's got skin in the game.
Biased,
yes.
Okay.
And it's basically like, hey, this is what's popular, this is what's grabbing money, and this is what everybody's.
Let's make everything look like Fortnite.
Yeah, exactly. This Fortnite style stuff.
Nobody asked these game companies to cram all of this BS vaporware into an E3 build. That was a choice that you made. And why that stuff never made it off of the cutting room floor, there's so many possible reasons for that. But we're supposed to just take it on faith that it's because you couldn't live up to those expectations because they felt all this pressure to compete with the other. How much of this was just bad management? How much of this was just people saying, well, we need to have stuff that we can show off, even if it doesn't make it into the game. We have to crunch. That's not necessarily the developers. That's management.
Yeah.
That's pushing for all of this. And,
Well, it's like the other day, I got a question, you know, someone that doesn't game very often, but it was, oh, what's this, you know, this and this, and I'm like, oh yeah, Call of Duty, and they were like, oh, you mean that commercial that I saw that I thought was a movie the other day, and it ended up being a video game, Call of Duty, and I was like, yeah, pretty much, you know,
That's
like,
hilarious.
no, it's not necessarily going to look like that as a game, like, you know, but that's another reason why we put, you know, not actual game footage or actual game footage at the end during all of these things. Like, I don't mind live service. I mind live service with an ever-changing, expensive set of microtransactions that are ridiculous.
When Joe says it allows him to make better decisions, I question that statement.
Yes, because Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League exists, right? All these bad freaking live service games exist. So
when
it's
you
not
make
necessarily
when you make an
better.
unpopular choice in a $60 box game that is complete, and you make a choice that customers don't like, you have to live with that.
Yeah.
But with live service, if you make a bad decision, you can just fix it and hope people's memories aren't long enough that they'll remember the previous mistakes that you made, and that they'll be forgiving enough, even though some of these companies do not deserve to be forgiven. Like, I'm just thinking of like what he said about E3, and I'm comparing PlayStation State of Play, where it was all trailers with very little gameplay footage, and then Nintendo Direct on the opposite end of that, where there was so much gameplay footage in that. And I just remember watching the two of them and thinking, I am much more invested in what Nintendo's doing because I actually see the game that's going to be played. I'm not just being sold a bill of goods from PlayStation that I don't know if it's actually going to be like that.
Yeah.
Get out of here, Joe.
That's one thing that I've always loved about Nintendo is they'll give you these fantastic trailers, but then they always show a bunch of gameplay. Or like the Zelda games, I always love when they come out with Zelda and Mario, and you'll see the creators talking, and then you'll see the gameplay. That's my favorite, because you get to see it in action, and you get to see like these developers or the head of the development team like coming out and playing, and then you'll see the gameplay and stuff and hear them talking about it. And that's why I love what Nintendo does. Like when I saw Death Stranding, like great trailer that they had. I was super hyped, but it was just like, here's the trailer, here's the movie portion, like and my mind is always, well, how much of this is going to be in the actual game, and how does it mix in with the gameplay and stuff like that. Like, I get they're still developing, but like Nas said, you know, with Nintendo, they do their directs and it's usually like everything's almost done and we've got gameplay footage to show you, not just here's what we got so far to capture your attention.
Yeah, so, it's not just like a sizzle reel. It's they're actually showing gameplay mechanics and stuff like that.
Exactly. But I'm
sorry.
Great. First it was donuts a couple weeks ago. Now it's Chili's, and now I'm gonna need to go get me some baby back.
Yes.
Hey Fox, tell me that you didn't have breakfast without telling me you didn't have breakfast.
I didn't actually either.
True story.
Oh goodness.
But I'm always gonna go back to Helldivers. Helldivers 2.
Yeah.
Like,
they kind of set a standard.
They did.
Absolutely fabulous game.
Yes.
Gameplay is on point. Graphics are on point. They were super transparent. Even said, "Hey, don't buy our game. We are having server issues. We did not anticipate. Don't buy it yet."
Yeah.
And right they still put it on sale when they got, and they handled it faster than most places as far as getting that fixed. And the game is $30.
Yep. Right on.
Yep.
So
do not tell me that y'all can't do something good for the players without live service.
Yeah. Right on.
You know, for like a cheap amount, because you pay your set amount with Helldivers, and then it's online.
Then they'd have to be accountable for their stupid ass decisions.
Well, you know.
Well, I mean, we are in the age of patches and things like that for the $60 box games too. So I mean, but as far as his comments on, you know, live service being superior, 100% disagree with that. There are pros and cons to both. You know, it depends on, you know, what's the flavor of the month. Me, I am story driven. I like story driven games mostly. And you know, there are some live service games that I do play, but it's not my main stuff. So I guess it depends on what you like most. You know, do you like the Fortnite or do you like the Uncharted? You know what I mean? And I don't think there's any way to make Uncharted into a live service game.
Oh, you know, I don't want to know if there is. but you know what? I like a game that ends.
I'm sure they can find a way.
Yes. Yeah. I don't want to be in a never-ending story of games. I don't want that.
That's what I was talking about. Like, he wants to turn games into soap operas. Like, come on, man. No.
So the comments, I think he's certainly misguided on that. And honestly, I think he's coming from, you know, obviously from the developer side of it, from the suits, from the people who are actually making the game. And I do believe that he's kind of conflating the two. I don't think that it's going to be better for gamers. I think it's going to be live services, I think, are essentially better for the the companies, just because they have one game and they can get literally an unlimited amount of money from them, depending on how good it does, you know. But also, I will give them, it has to be a good game. It has to be a Helldivers too. You know what I mean? It does have to be a good game, or Power World or something like that. For
the reason I think it's so good. Yeah, the reason
Mhm.
I think it's so good for developers is because after the game is developed and it's launched,
Mhm.
you no longer have to have as many developers because you're basically
Very
in just
true.
operations and maintenance mode,
Mhm.
right? You're just keeping the game running.
Yeah.
You can add stuff to it. There's less of a time crunch unless you
Mhm.
set a calendar for when you're going to create and launch new features.
Right.
But there's no, the game's already on its feet. You're just keeping it up there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is another great point.
Maintaining you're right, is a
Mhm.
lot cheaper, and even you can even get like a team of 5 or 10 that's in charge of, you know, well, we're going to do this campaign or this event or
Mhm.
that. But think about it, like we all know I've been playing a lot of Fallout 76
Yeah.
because because my
mentioned it,
kiddo
yeah.
asked me to.
Right. Bomb and Phil
so-
Spencer's deal. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nuking, rather. Goodness.
yeah. I've enjoyed the fact that there's like a rolling thing of events that are big events.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, that's cool, you know, I can do this. But
Mhm.
after like my first few times of doing it, I'm just like, okay, I'm done now.
Right on. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And their events, from what I'm understanding with talking with my kid and stuff about different things, is this is like an ongoing thing. This is a every year thing.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well,
Whoa.
well, looking at Fortnite, like at least they'll be like, okay, well, we're going to do this event and it's going to be Metallica, and we're going to do their in-game
That's right.
concert and this and that.
Mhm.
And,
What?
you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
The
they'll
concerts
do,
for,
they do events in their concerts, and it's actually kind of cool.
not
Oh.
for Fallout, but for
For Fortnite.
Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. And so like my kid comes in and he's like, hey mom, Metallica. And I'm like, yeah, no, I saw it on my PlayStation thing. Like I saw all the skins and everything, and I'd be interested in watching that. And but they come up with these cool like little concert events, and they're engaging. Like I go watch it
Yeah.
when my kid does the events, and I'm not a Fortnite player. I'm sure eventually like he could talk me into it, because apparently I'll do anything at least once for them. But you know, that's something that's different, but that's something that they start talking about way earlier, and then they've got their seasons that they do, and that's what keeps them interested, is doing new things and changing things up. But you can do it on a smaller developer number, if that makes sense. So like your team of 40 can now become like 10.
Yeah, and you can reassign these people to something else,
Yeah.
or hopefully reassign them to something else.
Yeah, but
And
the
right,
bottom
just
line
decide
is,
that you have a redundancy and then lay them off.
Embracer.
yeah, exactly.
You butts.
My
Well, Embracer at least. There's so many.
Yeah, I know. They're the worst of the worst. I will still continue to say it. They're the worst of
It
the
wouldn't
worst.
be a casual consumer live stream if you didn't crap on Embracer and Lars.
but I mean, like, it's deserved.
It is, yeah.
Oh,
It's
I
well
didn't say
deserved.
it wasn't.
Yeah, so we might bash certain things, but you deserve it, Lars. Anyway,
Yeah.
but for me, like, yeah, you can get some really cool things that are engaging for players, or that will even bring either new ones or old players back with live service for at least a little bit. But it's good for the company. It's not necessarily the gamers, because you, like with GTA, like GTA 5's been around for what, like 20 years now, like 50 years now, something like that. And you've got like the GTA Online, and then you've got this, and then you've got that you can do every month. And I'm just like, they charged like what, 60 for this game back when it came out. It's been on the last 3 generations of consoles.
They cracked it. They cracked it.
Yeah, they've made new games, they've done updates and stuff like that. But then you've got like Fallout will have Fallout first, so you get X amount of money. Fortnite has it, GTA has it. You get this perk for being a member of our service every month, so you'll get this much like shark card or you'll get this many V-Bucks, or you'll get this many
Mm-hmm.
atoms, or whatever it is.
V-Bucks.
And then you also get this, and this, and these are the perks. So if
Mhm.
you join this subscription service for GTA, you can have this huge garage with all these cars and all these vehicles that you wouldn't necessarily have if you didn't have our monthly premium service.
You know, GG, if you weren't already explaining something I knew about, I'd think you were talking about a mobile game.
Yeah,
I
that's
would
exactly what.
absolutely think that you were talking about a mobile game.
Yeah, the mobile game is their template is exactly how they run these live services now.
Why wouldn't they? I mean,
Yeah.
they're looking at mobile games and looking at all the money that they're raking in and all the people that are playing them, and look at Asia.
Oh, trust me,
Asia
I
has
know.
a
Mhm.
tremendous amount of mobile gamers, and they're thinking, I want that. So how do
Yes.
I get that? Well,
Yep.
we have to compare
Mhm.
and say that live service games are superior to the traditional box model, and that's what this article pretty much is. It's
Mhm.
not that one is superior to the other.
Yeah.
I mean, on a personal level, sure, each person's going to decide which one's better,
Exactly.
but on the whole, they're just different. You don't need to compare the two of them. They are just different, and different customers want different things, and that's that.
Yeah.
Don't say this is better for players. Like, you don't have any right to decide that
Right.
for me, Joe. Get out of here.
Yeah.
Well,
Love it.
I'm constantly getting a text message talking about, I bought this for my mobile game, so I sent you this much money, because we're on a family like plan. So like, you know, all my music, my cloud storage, all of it is shared, you know, so like my kids and spouse and everybody all has it.
Mhm.
And so I'll constantly get, hey, you know, I bought this, so I'm gonna shoot you the money. And I'm just like, dude, you sent me money yesterday. Like,
Mhm.
what'd you buy today? And then I'll be like, what do you mean $6.99? Like, you spent $10.99 yesterday. And so
Hey, they add up, man. You keep doing that.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
dang, dude.
Right
like,
on. Yeah.
And the games will be like, my son, I'll watch all the time, and he'll be like, if I can get this far in my season, you know, because I bought the subscription for the season or whatever, then
Yeah.
I can get this many V-Bucks. And I'm like, yeah, that's not going to come close to getting you anything.
It kills me.
And so,
Freaking
yeah, so
V-Bucks.
you're going to be asking me for V-Bucks like
Mhm.
every 3 days. And eventually I'm going to have to like use some of Lord Beerus's wrestling moves on you, like, since he loves that pro wrestling so much.
Right on. This one I thought was absolutely funny. Oh, sorry, we're moving on to the next one.
No, you're good. You're good.
This is, I
I'm
thought
ready.
it was really funny. So the headline says GTA San Andreas used real gang members to record voiceover. We showed them the scripts and they were like, we wouldn't say that. I thought this was really funny, and this kind of speaks to how far Rockstar is willing to go to create a really outstanding, authentic game. So let's get over there, read that here, and take a few moments to read it, and then we'll discuss.
I
Right
wonder
on.
if anybody got beat up while interviewing.
Probably not.
I would
Probably
hope not.
I would assume security for Rockstar is pretty darn tight. You know. Anyway,
Yeah.
In an interview with Kind of Funny Games, Laszlo reminisced that if the team needed specific accents or languages, we traveled to those places. For Red Dead Redemption 2, that meant jetting off to Santa Fe, New Mexico to record with Native American communities, or traveling to New Orleans to work with Creole individuals, because those accents you just can't get right with New York, LA actors. This is very true. And I would listen
Preach.
to those guys read a phone book. Absolutely love that accent.
Mhm.
Oop, wrong one. Here we go. But
Yeah, the
that
Creole
practice-
accent. You can read
Yeah.
whatever to me.
Yes.
Like,
But the practice stretches all the way back to 2004 San Andreas, when Rockstar Games supposedly recruited real gang members to provide voiceover work for the game. We showed them the scripts, Laszlo explains, and they were like, we wouldn't say that. We wouldn't say that. We'd say this. Laszlo eventually told the voiceover artist to say what you would say. And I thought that was really funny. Thinking back on my time with the game, it does sound pretty good. You know, I mean, I'm not a game member or anything like that, but I assume they would talk like that, right? And this one was pinned by Con Saren by Games Radar. But yeah, and Laszlo, he's no longer at Rockstar. I can't remember where he went to, but yeah, which is, I think this is just a fun, cool article, just highlighting how, games companies, Rockstar specifically, is willing to go the extra mile to make it feel authentic and make a really great game because of that. But what do you guys think about that one?
Are they still doing this?
Since he's left,
I think that they have to be, because they were. I mean, look at the previews for 6. Like, they got a lot of from what I'm seeing, they got a lot of Miami down pat. You know what I mean? Like, you had to go there or watch things or something. There had to be some sort of study going on.
Right.
Yeah,
it reminds me of the practice that they do it with Disney a lot. Like, like for Moana, like they did a lot of travel. They did a lot of, talking to the cultures and recording them and getting their input. And they changed a lot in the movie when they realized, hey, this wouldn't line up with how they do things.
Right.
So I think that's what makes GTA so awesome, because it's always felt so on point.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm certainly not a gang member, but to me, like, just from everything that I'd heard or seen or, got from a secondary source or something, it seemed pretty on point. San Andreas was probably like my favorite one.
San Andreas was great.
Yeah, it was absolutely fantastic. But I like the fact that, like, if I were to go in and be like, hey, I wouldn't say it like that. That's like going to the mafia and then being like, yo, we don't actually do this. This is what we do.
Great.
And you know what I mean?
They massacred my boy.
There's something about that. There's something. You mentioned the mafia, and I believe that there was some link between the Godfather movies and the mafia, and I can't remember what it is. Was it?
Right on.
It was something. You guys go ahead. I'm going to do a little bit of digging.
Oh, see,
because I want to make sure I got my facts right. But there was something like that. Actually, wait a minute. Wasn't Connie's husband actually a member of the mafia? Like a real member of the mafia?
Yeah, I think so.
It says by the New York Post, it says the real mafia was incredibly involved in The Godfather.
Yes.
Here, let's see.
That's what I'm talking about.
No. Okay. Sorry.
But it was easier to be involved when it was like 60s and 70s style.
We're going to try to bypass all
the
fluff here.
Good luck.
So it looks like
my great uncle was in the mafia, and that was scary when I found out. I was like, they're not coming for us, are they?
Director Francis Cord.
From what I understand, if you left them alone, they left you alone, unless you had something that they wanted. That was my understanding of it. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know. It just keeps going. It just keeps going.
There's actually a movie on it's on Peacock. It's actually about like the whole process. I haven't seen it yet, so I don't know if it's good or not. But it's about the whole process of making the movie The Godfather.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna need a documentary. I can't read all of this. I am sorry, Mr.
No, it's all good.
I
went down that rabbit hole, and I shouldn't have.
No, it's okay.
Incidentally, anybody ever play the Godfather game?
No, but it was like a adjacent to.
It's kind of like Mafia, like the same type of gameplay as well. I mean, but at least in that game, I don't think you had to follow the speed limit. But it was so good because you actually played as somebody who was working with Luca Brasi. So and it followed some of the same beats as the movies. Like you're actually seeing, sorry, spoilers to anybody for like a 50-year-old movie or so on. But you actually see the scene where Luca Brasi gets killed, and you're watching it from the outside, and there's a whole level like you have to escape Sollozzo, and it's fun. It's fun. I highly recommend it.
Right on.
Anyway, might have to check that out.
Authenticity in games and movies is good.
Yeah.
Please continue to do so.
Right on.
It's like with Goodfellas, like, they had the actual guy doing, that Ray Liotta plays. They actually had him telling the, you know,
Henry
the story
Hill.
behind it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Right on. RIP.
Yeah.
Mm.
We're
Right
not going
on.
to get into that because if I say anything, it'll make it seem like I'm bashing one or the other, and that's not the case. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Oh yeah, we can't have that because then you and I are gonna have a problem.
Good fellas.
I don't want that.
No.
If it helps, I am mostly Italian, but I am German, English, and Irish as well. So I'm not bashing.
Just all kinds of mixes in there.
Yeah. So.
But let's move on. One of our major stories. Apparently, Konami is jumping headlong into the NFTs. This time they're not making a game, but they're creating infrastructure for other gaming companies to make a game using blockchain technology. I thought we were all done with this. And you hear NFT, the non-fungible token thing, and you just hear scam. Red flags, just scam comes up.
Well, I also hear like NFT and Snoop Dogg. Like
no,
he's
selling grills now apparently.
He was like, yeah, man, you see my NFT stuff, and then I got this and I got that, and like, I love Snoop Dogg, like he's my favorite.
What was that thing?
So I love hearing him talk about anything, but it was a couple years ago. I want to say, I think it was him and Kevin Hart might have been doing like a New Year's thing, and like they just kept going on and on and on about Snoop Dogg's NFTs, and I was like, huh? Because it was still so new back then.
Right on.
So every time somebody says NFT, I think Snoop Dogg first.
Yeah, as soon as I hear like anything involving gaming and NFT, immediately I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm not interested
100%.
in this.
So
Yes.
let's get into the article real quick. I didn't highlight this one on Pocket, so we're going straight to the article. Thank you, GG. That's awesome. So for this one, it's pinned by Andrew Hayward. Metal Gear Solid game maker Konami launching Avalanche NFT platform. So we're gonna skip this part. The infrastructure platform aims to make it easier for companies to integrate blockchain technology and issue NFTs, both for games and other types of applications. According to Konami, Rosella is the name of their the project, eliminates the need for users to open an external crypto wallet or handle cryptocurrency at all. The company touted Rosella's user-friendly marketplace experience in a press release and said it will allow transactions in Japanese yen for domestic users, with plans to accommodate global users as well. Powered by Avalanche's technology, Rosella will not charge users gas fees to transact with its tech, which is so crazy. By democratizing access to Web3 related technologies, Konami Digital Entertainment aims to foster an inclusive environment wherein business across various sectors can harness the potential of blockchain innovation. So I'm not gonna lie, I thought we were past this. I thought NFTs got nuked from orbit, and with the absolute collapse of that industry. But the reason why these guys want to get into it is because you can have the memorabilia in digital form, and this just another way to make money. Like one of the big ones. Oh, I have a painting NFT. I have this digital thing, and it's worth like $100,000. And if they had that kind of thing, they have so many recognizable freaking IPs. So Castlevania, Metal Gear, they could just kind of transform all of that into these non-fungible tokens, sell them for a exorbitant price, I would imagine, and that's another way for them to make money. However, they are talking about just creating a platform so it's easier for people. So I don't know if they will.
So they got to cut every single time someone tries to use their platform.
Right on. I would assume yes. Yeah.
I think that's what they're saying. But like, as far as the NFTs, like, I don't understand it. I also don't really agree with it. Like when I was hearing, like, it's essentially like having the Mona Lisa but in digital form,
right,
and this much money, but it's over here. Well, yeah, it's worth that much for now.
Right. Yeah.
As long as and what's to keep it safe.
Yeah. It's like cryptocurrencies too. Like any day of the month or whatever, freaking Bitcoin can be $70,000
Mhm.
per, coin. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And then the next month it's below 30.
Yeah.
It's just so volatile.
It's a huge it's a stock market type thing. Like you never know
Right.
when it
Yes. That too.
when it goes up and down. Some Bitcoin, I don't remember if it's FTC,
Mhm.
but I know that like a lot of the new like cryptocurrencies that were coming out that they were getting like a lot of celebrity endorsements on
Mhm.
weren't
Mhm.
recognized by the FTC
Yeah.
or backed by them. And so now these celebrities are liable
Yes.
for their advertising.
It
said
was
things.
it was the guy something Bankman-Fried who just got sentenced as like
Elliot Bankman-Fried, or I think that's
Yeah.
his name, right?
he just
Do you trust? I mean,
Hmm.
I don't know that I would. Do you think we should hold the people that are advertising this accountable?
I don't not if
I
they
don't know. I
didn't
mean,
know.
they're celebrities or
Right.
actors and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
if
Well,
I
I mean,
buy a car that
technically-
a celebrity advertises and that car is a lemon, am I going to hold the actor who was in the commercial
That's a
responsible? If I
very
buy a
good
Lincoln,
point.
if
Yeah.
I buy a Lincoln and it's a piece of crap, am I going to call up Matthew McConaughey and tell him I'm suing his ass?
That's a
I
very
mean, if
good
the
point.
if the
Good
whole
Lord.
line of what he was advertising was blowing up and killing people, then probably.
I mean,
know,
Yeah,
but we
no,
still
like-
kind of accept the commercials are BS, don't we?
No,
Well-
I don't necessarily think that they should be going after whoever's advertising it. That's not what I'm saying. No,
Unless
I
they're
don't think
running
so.
it. Unless
Right.
they have a hand in operating
Yeah,
it.
if they
Okay.
know that
if
it's
they're
garbage,
getting
then
a kickback of the product, maybe, or like say if you do this advertisement, we'll pay you $50,000 for the commercial, but then we'll also give you like 70 Bitcoin or whatever it
Ooh.
was. Like
Uh-huh.
I think if you become like a shareholder in the company, then yes, you should be liable to be
Well,
sued.
yeah, because then
Okay.
you're part of the company for sure. But like,
Yeah, but if it's just you're getting a one-time payment and then royalties for every time the commercial is shown, then no, I don't think
Right,
that I
right.
should sue Matthew McConaughey if my Lincoln blows up or catches on fire. I mean, I could. He lives pretty close. So.
That's awesome. Freaking Matthew McConaughey.
He lives
I love
close
that
enough to
dude.
drive to. I can go yell at him.
Tell him I said hi.
I know,
really
right?
liked him in True Lies.
Yeah.
Or not True Lies.
I was gonna say he wasn't even
On
in
True Lies. Oh, True Detective.
Yes.
I liked him in
Yeah.
false. What is it? It's false gold or whatever. I can't remember the name of it.
Fool's Gold. That
Fool's
was
Gold.
such a great movie.
Yeah. And oh my
Yeah.
god, freaking it's Bryce Dallas Howard. She's thicker than a Snicker in that.
Mhm.
Lord,
Um,
love it.
but yeah, like my thing is, it's just like so.
Mhm.
Say I build this digital world,
Mhm.
and we decide to like let people in and use it, and they can create like their game space over here, and then somebody else has their game space over here, and
Mhm.
it can all be kind of integrated or whatever it is. Like it's worth this amount right now.
Mhm.
How does it stay that way?
Mm.
And like I just don't like the NFTs. Like
Right.
how is it secure? How do you guarantee that this money is going to stay
It's
the same?
The
like, not
blockchain
drop off.
technology, it's has some kind of security measures on its own. Like I don't know exactly how it works, but blockchain is supposed to be pretty secure, supposedly.
Yeah,
This is
it
supposedly.
really is. Like I remember I didn't take the class on it like I was going to,
Mhm.
because it was like an optional summer class, but I
Gotcha.
remember getting like snippets on it when I was in in school for network security.
Mhm.
So I know like it's really secure and everything like that. But
Mhm.
what if I gave it to PlayStation? We know
See-
they're always getting hacked.
That might actually help with their security.
You see that evil smile I just did? Like,
Mhm.
And I'm a PlayStation girl, don't get me wrong.
Mhm.
The issue,
But,
one of the
I
issues
almost
I
said
have
me
with
too.
this,
PlayStation. I'm a
one of the
PlayStation
issues
girl.
that I have with NFTs is you're creating a currency. You're creating a product
Mhm.
that's I don't actually physically have,
Right.
and you're creating the marketplace for this product. So you're
Mhm.
creating the currency and the marketplace. What's to say that you can change the value of the item that I have
Mhm.
whenever the hell you feel like it, whatever it suits the company to do so? I mean, they're saying that you
Which-
can use these NFTs for in-game events, for tickets and stuff like that
Mhm.
across different platforms.
Yep.
And then okay, what if you just change your platform to say that this NFT that I have is no longer valid or no longer useful or no longer as valuable? You're holding all the cards.
See,
Yeah.
Why
that's
do I
what
want to
worries
get
me.
involved in that?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. That's a good, very, very good point too.
Because it's like, how do you guarantee, like, you know, like what I paid for it and the value that you're telling me that it is? How do you guarantee that it stays that way? Like, it just doesn't make sense to me.
They don't. Why would they? What,
They
they're
would.
missing out. They're missing out on potential profits if they do.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But it's really the way that I see it. It's not really any different than any other in-game currency.
Yeah.
You control the currency. You
Mhm.
control what it can buy.
Mhm.
You can change either one of those. You can make it more expensive for me to buy in-game currency,
Mhm.
or you can change the value of the items in-game. You can increase that so that I have to spend more actual money for in-game currency.
Mhm.
And I have very little control over that other than choosing to spend the money or not. And I choose not to.
Mhm. Yeah. I
I don't
think
want to get involved with this. I don't trust these guys.
right on. Yeah. Especially Konami. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Have you, what was that? Metal Gear Survive. Have you played Metal Gear Survive?
No,
Oh,
no.
oh God. Yeah, no. Konami, sorry. But no.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, until I see like a lot
Mhm.
on something there, it's hard for me to trust something new.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway, because
That's fair,
I
though.
mean,
Mhm.
look at all the trust issues we've been given.
Yes.
You know, I need to see it in operation. I need to see how it works. I need to see the trends before, like, I'm even considering, like, I've got to consider, you know, like, I need proof. I need studies. I need background.
And meanwhile, there's all these other good games to play.
Exactly. I mean, I'm still playing. I still go back and play the original Donkey Kong Country and Super Mario and Zelda and all that.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I'm totally getting the remaster
yeah.
that Nintendo's coming out with.
Yes.
I'm totally
Yes,
getting that.
I can't wait for it.
That was,
But-
yeah. I
but
was
my
a
thing
Sega
is,
guy. So I always
you
wanted
know-
to play it. Sorry. Go.
Yeah, I had a Genesis too.
Mhm.
My brother had the Nintendo. My sister had the SNES, and it was funny because she wasn't a gamer really, and like I think my dad just kind of accidentally bought it for her instead of me, and then realized the mistake at Christmas and was like, "Oops!" Like, oh,
Yeah.
like, but I got the Genesis, so we're good.
Very cool.
But I don't know. I love something about open worlds. Don't bother me because I've got ADHD, so you're gonna get me lost for like probably 6,000 more hours than someone normal.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like, ooh, what's over here? Oh, I forgot what this is. Let me go re-explore it.
It's hilarious.
But
Yeah,
I love the stories. I love being able to kind of do my own thing in games, but I love story games. Like,
same.
especially if it's got a good story. I love something that I can play by myself, get lost in, and not have to worry with somebody else. Like, I don't want to have to. I don't even mind online games, but I don't want to have to play with a team. Like, I don't want to need a team in order to complete something. Like, I want to be able to go do my mission or whatever it is, or quest. You know, that's why I love the Zelda games. I'm just like,
Right
oh my
on.
god, I love it so much. I get to do this, and this.
Okay.
So, but I'm not gonna trust whatever this is.
Yeah.
Until I'm seeing a lot on it.
Right on. It might get nuked from space. But moving on, we've got a comments from
Fingers crossed.
what's his name? What is his name? He was the prior CEO. Shawn Layden, I want to say.
Oh, from PlayStation?
Yes, Shawn Layden. So we have comments from Shawn Layden, and it's in reference to the console wars and how he thinks that's it. Before they make some significant progress in the game industry, exclusives and all that good stuff, they have to go extinct before. And this is coming from Tweaktown, and this is being pinned by Derek Strickland. So let's take a look at that. This one is another mouthful, so just bear with me. I'll try to get through it as fast as I can. Okay. It isn't trouble, but it's not a new thing. If you look at the history of consoles from PS1 to PS5 and everything associated in those verticals, the global install base in any one of those generations never got over about 250 million. And that's nothing to sneeze at. No matter how you rack it up, there's at one point in time when the Wii came out, and thanks to Wii Fit, an extra like 20 million units got sold because everyone thought they could lose weight. But that wasn't sustainable, and that came crashing down. And we're still kind of in the 250 million overall install base of active consoles. I think that's a challenge. We've managed to do a lot over time, and during the pandemic, revenues went up 20 to 25%, but it was still just getting more money from the same people. It wasn't necessarily bringing new people in to the console gaming world. So I think that's the existential threat to gaming right now. How do we break out of that glass ceiling? I want to say there was another comment that he had made. No, I guess not. Let's see.
Well, there was another article, I think, that you linked that was on, because the one that you're reading from is it from Tweaktown?
Yeah, Tweaktown. Yeah.
Okay, so there was another article you posted from Games Radar.
Yes. I didn't highlight.
Yeah, that's the one from Haroon Cryer.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Here, I'm sorry. But
so there's a lot of news, man.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
There was a lot this week.
Right.
But that's good.
Okay, let's get here real quick. Right. Layden's line of thinking here follows a common belief that companies effectively overhired. Well, we know that.
Yes.
PlayStation, for its part, laid off hundreds of cancel summer and now blah blah blah. Yes, we know this. Okay, but I think where he's getting at is that
well, hang on. There was a comment. I think actually, if you went a little bit above, he says we're talking about ray tracing differentials, and most of us don't have good enough TVs,
right?
So can't see the ray tracing anyways.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh my god. We'll read that comment because I think that's what like got me. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy he's talking about something crazy. So we're talking about ray tracing differentials. Most of us don't have good enough TVs, so can't see the ray tracing anyway. Leading continue Xbox, PlayStation, high-end PC. That's almost at a plateau where all things being equal, they're pretty much the same. We'd be in a better, oh, that's right. Now I remember, better world if we could get down to one standard home console technology that we could come together and get this platform war thing out of the way. Oh my God. Yes. Thank you. Now I remember.
It's an interesting idea.
Everybody. So I was thinking about this hard yesterday. I had a few beers in me and just sat down. It was just kind of just going, right? And so we'll get into the article about Xbox. But the way I thought about it was, and I'm going to use Xbox as an example. If they decided to just go hard to Gamepass, which they kind of are, they're saying little things to keep people from exiting in droves. Like they don't want to say, oh, we're getting rid of our home consoles. People will leave. And getting rid of our exclusive strategy, people will just be like, you know what? I don't know why I invested all this time. Anyway, I think that is the way that they're going to go. They might have a few home consoles circulating out there, but I don't think there's going to be their main. I think as far as hardware, they're going to go to handhelds because the overhead's much lower, and people like being mobile. It's what came to mind was we don't have home phones anymore. We have cell phones. People like being able to take their games and their information, all that good stuff with them on the go, right? So I think if they do have hardware, it's going to be handheld focus, and I think they're going to go straight to Game Pass, and I think they're going to get rid of exclusive. As much as Xbox fans don't want to face that fact, I think they will do away with exclusives altogether. But I think they're going to be on the cutting edge of that because Sony's slowly picking up that same model. Nintendo, I think they're going to have to too, because there is 150 million Switches out there right now. We're going to have to see what the Switch 2 does. I doubt it will reach those numbers. However, we'll have to see. What happens with that. But I think exclusives are going to hold them back from making as much money as they possibly can. I think that's my thought process on it all. But yes, I think he has kind of has a point. You know, I kind of like where his head's at, but I feel like, yikes, he made it feel like it was all doom and gloom. It's something I did have a problem with what he said, but just rereading it right now, I'm kind of like, maybe not a home console, maybe not bring all of these companies together. It's like, oh, here's one home console and everybody else is just, you know, left with their pants down. You know what I mean? It's like out in the cold.
I mean, I think it's kind of cool, like, you know, with the which will lead us into our Amazon article later. But like teaming up with the Amazon TVs and letting Game Pass and cloud gaming be on that, Xbox is smart. You know what I mean? So. And then you've got Amazon's Luna service. I don't know much about, but I know I get on Prime Gaming every month and I'm like, okay, do you have any goodies for me? Do you have anything for me to download? Like, is there any free in-game bonus stuff?
Yeah.
So I check that out and then I'll see all the, oh my God, cat. Sorry. He just like came out of nowhere and landed on me, scared me half to death. Lose my train of thought, little dude. Yeah, there'll be all these games like on Luna, and I'll be like, "What is Luna?" Like, you know, like I'm afraid. Don't touch it. It's new.
I love that movie. Even the second was so good.
Yes.
Right. I'm sorry.
But, I'm always like, what is this? Like, I was over with my son the other day. I was reading like what was on the Prime Gaming in case he wanted me to like claim anything for him. And I said Luna, and we both just kind of looked at each other like, "Don't touch it, it's new." Like, we don't know what it is. But I think it would be a good idea, like, you know, integrating something with smart TVs. Like, Sony has their own TVs. You can throw remote game on that easily. Like, I mean, you're telling me you can't make a service like, you know, cloud gaming or whatever it is now onto your TVs. That would be cool.
Just a quick note on that. Xbox, they have been doing it for a while, but it's still I want to say it's Samsung TVs they have the Xbox Game Pass app on. If I'm not mistaken.
I have a Samsung TV.
There you go. So it, they do have that capability, but now the barrier to entry is much, much lower. You don't have to go out and buy, you know, put hundreds or even thousands of dollars in cases of the TVs and, you know, PCs. So
as long as you have a good internet connection.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So if you're in a rural area, sorry.
I know, but you're screwed either way in a rural area. GG,
it's like I was saying with the Switch being handheld and something that you can dock. I mean, I know that their technology has never been close to what like PlayStation and Xbox can do, but like look at even back to the PSP, the very first handheld, like those graphics, I mean, even today they still hold up. Yeah. And I know that with the PSP you could just plug that right in. Right. And if they could come up with something that they did that where it was, you know, a hybrid, I think both Xbox and PlayStation could come up with, you know, a really good sustainable model, because then you would have everybody that wants to take everything mobile would be able to. Yeah. But as far as coming together and making like one like straight piece of technology, I don't see that happening, because the companies don't want to merge. They want that money to themselves. And I think that's what could cause the problem as far as that goes.
I was thinking about that, about having like a common piece of hardware. And I don't think that you would ever be able to get Microsoft and Sony to co-develop something. Right. But
that's like asking Intel and AMD to team up.
Yeah. But what if there was, okay, I have a gaming PC, for example. What if I have to actually, that's one thing I was wondering is like, are you going to be able to theoretically play any game on like a Fire Stick that you can download from a Game Pass? And if not, well, then are there different levels of games that I'd be able to play on different types of hardware? Like Fire Stick can only play games of this caliber, whereas my main PC can play AAA games or even quadruple A games. Who knows?
Quadruple A
games.
So
Ubisoft.
there are ways, and I've seen this with other pieces of software where you can actually, your computer can be tested to see if what it's capable of, what sort of games it can handle. Now, if you have, because I'm just thinking about how I would do it, you can have that sort of, you can have different tiers of games that you can play on an agnostic piece of hardware. And it's up to Microsoft to develop and or Sony to develop, and you install this little piece of software on your PC and it tests it, it sees what it's capable of, and it'll allow you to play these games. Anything more you need to upgrade this piece of hardware, whatever. But it would allow you to basically have an agnostic piece of hardware and be able to play games from either console, which would be kind of cool.
That would be.
I'd like that. And maybe you just limit the Fire Stick or Roku or whatever to playing just, you know, cutesy little party games, little fun things. And the cool thing
the
about
cozy
that,
games.
What's that?
The cozy games.
Yeah, cozy games, or like
the Hello Kitty.
Animal
party
Crossing.
games like Jack and whatever I can't remember what the name of those game series is, but there's like a Jackbox party game for Sony or whatever.
Oh yeah, I want to say
You know what I'm
John DBZ was mentioning that.
Yeah. And if you had games that were capable of being run on like a Fire Stick or like a Android box or whatever, and you gave that to people for free, you could actually just introduce people into your gaming ecosystem fairly easily. We're all sitting around the couch, nothing on TV. What do you want to do? Let's play a party game on Luna, or let's play a party game on Gamepass, whatever. How much does it cost? Doesn't cost us anything. We can use our phones to control it, and so on and so forth. All of a sudden, you've got these people that are interested, and they're already in. And once they're in, once their foot's in the door, then you can start selling them crap.
That's the ultimate goal right there.
It could be one of those ways that they break through that glass ceiling of having all of these. What did he say? Shawn Layden? He said something like, we haven't been able to get over 250 million of
an install
base over active consoles. Well, okay, well maybe this is one way that you could do it.
I
mean, at least 10 people that I knew ended up with Switches because because of the pandemic and my introduction, because I was able to move around with it. You know, but I remember like my brother and nephew came over and they were like Street Fighter on PS5, and I'm like, hang on. So I had to like unhook everything, move it all out to the living room, and then let them play. And you know, we'll remote play when I'm hanging out at his house. We'll remote play into my PS5 and play something. But it's getting something in front of people. And doing it in a way like I can unplug my Fire Stick and stick that in my pocket, and you know, take
the portability is crazy.
You know, it's like this big. You know, and
sure.
I can take that over to my brother's house a lot easier than I can my Switch, but I can take my Switch over a lot easier than I could a PS5. You know, and I'm able to protect it better.
Quick thing on that one. Apparently, PlayStation has updated the PlayStation Portal a little bit so you can connect easier to outside Wi-Fi networks. So you can take it. It's improving how good it connects to Wi-Fi's other than your home Wi-Fi or whatever. So just quick note on that. They're improving portability on that. Go GG. Sorry.
Well, from what I understand from the people that I know that are lucky enough to have a portal, it's fabulous. And I'm like, that's awesome. You know, like if I wasn't at home and I didn't already have an iPad and like extra controllers, like I'd hop on it in a heartbeat. If I was always leaving the house, but I don't. I'm centralized. I don't really ever have to do much like outside of the home. So I have access to my system. I don't really, other than just wanting it because I want to have all the things. Like, you know, it's
people, pretty good hardware. The reason I got it was to be able to get out of this cave and to be able to go downstairs with the
well, you can go downstairs and
kiddos.
interact with your family while playing still.
Exactly.
You know?
Yep.
Hell, if you had like multiple Fire Sticks and they all had Game Pass on it, you can do like a
Dude.
local LAN party.
Oh my god.
Mhm. Exactly. Like
That's cool.
My friends, he's not really my brother. He's my brother from the military.
Brother in arms,
And
yeah.
and his wife and the kids and everything, they were always just trying to get her to like hop on the Xbox
Very
and
cool, man.
you know, or the PlayStation, and she was just like, I just don't understand us spending time together and we're all in different rooms and then we're playing a video game on top of it. And I was like, girl, hold up. Wait. And so
Girl, bye.
so we had like this long discussion about it, and
Mhm.
like my brother would be like, yeah, see, you know, she gets it, and like, you know, we were going back and forth, and she ended up trying it and just absolutely loving it, and they do it all the time now.
Yeah.
But before it was just that how are we hanging out if we're all in different rooms?
I think that's where my wife's hang up is.
And and I'm like, oh, it can be a lot of fun. Like,
It is a ton of fun. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. And even now, like my son, my sister, and like their friends will call me and invite me to a party on PlayStation. I'll be playing my games, they'll be playing their games, and sometimes they're playing online games together. But we'll all just be in a party together.
Yeah.
Just having fun.
Yeah.
And I love it. It's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
But that's what these companies need to look at, is something that can be portable or even a device that, okay, so I have my PlayStation, but I also have my Xbox, and now I can suddenly get access to both on my Fire Stick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Just make the quality of the experience.
Right
just make the quality of the experience be the focus.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And the more people that I can share my passion of gaming with, you know, even if it's just to show them why, you know, that can spark an interest, and then it can get them invested in gaming and so on and so forth. It's kind of like taking somebody to a football game, and they've never really paid attention to it.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden they like football because you're in that environment.
Yeah.
You're surrounded by all these fans.
Right
and
on.
Then, you know, I prefer going to live sports, but because I got to go to games, I got to go to baseball live, I got to go to Cowboys games, I got to go to, you know, Redskins games in Baltimore or Baltimore Ravens, all these games I got to go to, hockey, you know, because I got to be in those environments and enjoying those experiences with people that really loved it.
Yeah.
Now I'm like, hey, there's a game on, let's watch it. You know,
100%.
like,
Definitely get where you're coming from with that. That's
You cultivated an interest.
Yes.
Exactly.
In them. Yeah.
So that's what people think games are for kids, like, and yeah, you know, like, still that's the mentality, is they're like, well, Nintendo in the 80s and it was all for kids, and this isn't something serious or something cool. And they don't give it a chance, or they see like, oh, $600 for this, like I can get 7 Blu-ray players for that, like you know what I mean? And they don't understand gaming.
Yeah.
So somebody needs to be able to like reach out and kind of show them.
Yeah.
The mobile phones do it so well because everything is right there at their fingertips. People are stuck waiting for a doctor for an hour, or on the subway or whatever. So if you can figure out a way to bring that stuff kind of together and show somebody what it's about, then that's what's going to grab these attentions. And I think you need that before you come with one central hardware. Like if you could come up with like deals to bring it to like various places, like Capcom is starting to put their Resident Evil games on iOS. Well, guess what? You just got a whole bunch of new players.
Right.
You know?
But those players won't translate into the buying the console. Guarantee that. You know.
I mean, some might. So. It just depends. But the bottom line is that they're not a console company,
right?
Gaming company.
And that's the thing. Like I think this all coming back to me now. Like I don't think one centralized console will work. I just don't think that will work out, because I don't
see
know.
anybody agreeing on it.
That too.
You know what I mean? Like
definitely PlayStation. Xbox might be into the idea, but PlayStation.
I think Xbox would be, but PlayStation and Nintendo, you're gonna count them out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, man.
And speaking of Capcom, hey, I need the original trilogy not to just be on PC.
Oh,
So now that you've done it on PC and we're all super excited, I need you to bring that to the consoles, Capcom.
right on. Real quick, we got one more. I think I'm gonna skip a couple just to get to our main. But we've got the statement from Xbox announcing their partnership with Amazon. So, over the past several years, we have been on a journey to deliver cloud gaming to more devices and to more people around the globe. McKissick writes in the news post, we're excited to add Fire TV to our growing family of cloud gaming devices and eager to welcome new players into the experience. Now, we did touch on this a lot, but for this particular news, for this article, what do you think is going to change about Xbox's strategy? So I already, made my thoughts on it known. I think ultimately they're going to open up fully, and their consoles are going to not completely disappear, but I think they're going to go with something more portable, i.e. a handheld, and focus more on Game Pass, which they kind of already are doing. But I think that's going to be the bulk of their business model going forward. But what do you guys think about this news? And again, how do you think it'll change the strategy of Xbox? Sorry.
I like the idea that they're partnering with Amazon.
Yeah.
I go back and forth between whether or not I feel like Amazon is evil. But I've always kind of loved Amazon, especially because I don't have to go anywhere for it.
Right.
But
that's fair.
I remember Phil Spencer. I don't know when, where, who reported it, but he did say probably, I think it was like right before X and S launched, that if they weren't successful, they were going to get out of the console business.
Okay.
And I think that they started like putting their toes in the water with the Xbox exclusive announcement. They saw the reaction, so they started kind of walking it back.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: you've got to. I don't do change very well. You're probably going to get a lot of fighting, and I might even throw a fit. You never know how I'm going to react to change. But if you introduce the ideas to me and like go over it with me and give me time to form an opinion, time to think it through, instead of just being like, you have to do this right now, then I'm going to be more receptive to it. So I think what Xbox is doing right now, please don't walk up. Okay, just walk. Merlin. Anyway, I think that's what they're doing. They're being like, okay, well, we're going to give exclusives, but listen, they've been out for a while, and we're not going to give all our exclusives away.
Right.
But we're going to share a little bit because we're about the gamers.
Yeah.
And then later, like, it's going to be, and that calmed everybody down, especially like everybody from Xbox. And then they're going to be like, okay, well, we're going to start doing this. And it could be like we were talking about, like, hey, why don't you open up your exclusives after like 6 months to a year?
Yeah.
And not just Xbox, but PlayStation. Why don't you guys do that? Do you know how much more money you would get if you would do that? It doesn't mean you're going to lose console sales, because we're still going to choose what we choose, and I think that Xbox is slowly going to walk it back and get out of the console business, like Phil said, because I don't think that they're as successful as I wish they could be. Like we talked about how the original Xbox, it was zero profit. It was actually Bill Gates lost money on that.
Yeah. But
he was so determined to make money that he continued. He didn't quit. He came out with 360. The rest is not on him, but they just could never, Xbox is selling probably one for every 4 or 5 PlayStation is selling. And that's a hard pill to swallow, but you've got a lot of brand loyalty with Xbox, and you've got a lot of great exclusives that keep Xbox humming, and then you've got gamers that have both consoles in their house, but then you've got gamers that just can't afford that, so we just have to pick what we can.
Part of that loyalty though is predicated on the actual physical console itself. If you take that away, how much of that loyalty are you losing?
I agree.
And we talked about this before. Like, I'm not sure. I would love to see, I mean, if it crumbles Xbox, I don't want to see it, but I would love to see what that would look like. How many people would walk away if they just completely did away with their consoles? That would be crazy.
I guarantee you a lot would, but I think that they would come back in time.
The formal announcement of them getting out of the console market will happen far, far, far after everybody else is already aware that they're going to.
Yes,
that'll be the last thing they say about it.
Right on.
Exactly. I think that's why I think they're dipping their toes in and starting to test the waters and get people thinking about it and used to it before anything happens. But
so like, you know what? It's exactly right. I think that's what's going on. It's like, well, you don't need a console because you can play it on Amazon Fire Stick, you can play it on Roku, you can play it on your mobile phone, you can play it on iOS, you can play it on this theoretical mobile Xbox console.
Or think about it. So first we had the Fire Stick, right? And now we have the Fire TV or the Fire Cube, right? They're bigger. They have more capabilities. Think about what this partnership is going to do. How much do you think that Xbox and Amazon's partnership will eventually lead them to coming up with another device that combines the two worlds together? And then there's no console, but now there's a new Amazon Xbox device.
Combining Prime and Gamepass?
Kind of, but it would be like, so like how we used to have Apple TV. We don't really have that anymore because smart TVs kind of ruined it. But it would be like a device kind of like the Apple TV, but it would be like an Amazon Xbox device. You could play games on the Apple TV, but it was the mobile games, specific mobile games, or the arcade games and stuff like that.
Well, that was dependent on the actual hardware processing the game, right?
Correct.
Not so much the bandwidth, like your internet connection.
Correct. But, combine your internet, combine Amazon's like Fire Stick with like the cloud gaming and something that Microsoft could come up with, because primarily Xbox and Microsoft were always software more than hardware. So they team up with other people to develop with this hardware, and they're more computer based than PlayStation.
Yeah.
Let me ask you something though. To what extent do you think that Amazon could become a competitor to Microsoft?
I think that's why they teamed up.
I don't know. It with their businesses are kind of different. I know Microsoft is in the the programming and gaming. In Amazon, they do deliveries. They tried to step into the gaming a little bit. And
but don't forget about AWS as well. That's huge for Amazon. And Microsoft has their own competitor with Azure Cloud.
Yes,
but
so they're already competitors in some spaces.
I will tell you, AWS is better than Azure, in my opinion. Like when I worked with the two, I would rather have a virtual environment paying Amazon's prices and having the support and I can do everything on AWS remotely that I could do on Azure and more and cheaper. So that's why I went that way. But I had a Windows server in school and everything like that. But you got to remember, Amazon could be a competitor, but they've already tried to launch their own like little device for gaming, and it bombed. And so now they don't have their device; they have the Luna service, the Luna platform now. So they already lost out on the gaming.
I don't know.
As far as the console goes, I think what they're gearing towards is trying to work with Microsoft to bring something hardware based and software based
that will bolster that. That will bolster their gaming side.
I wouldn't rule it out. I mean, I hear what you're saying. At the same time, though, I wouldn't rule out that they may become a competitor at some point and have their own exclusives for Amazon Prime Gaming.
At some point. But at this point, they've already failed. So they need to do something to bring it back up and make it better. But they also don't develop anything themselves yet.
Maybe they can just watch how Microsoft does it and copy their notes.
Wouldn't that be the smart thing to do?
Well, I mean,
It's kind of like,
maybe.
it's kind of like finding a master and you're the apprentice.
The rule of 2.
Oh my gosh. Right on. Oh my goodness. As far as
What do you think, Fox?
As far as the integration between the Fire Stick and Xbox, I think that is a fantastic idea. It brings it to more players. And I've said this before. The barrier to entry just lessens that, so more people get to play. Like, I'll probably invest in the Fire Stick so I can get into Gamepass. It's just such a good deal. You cannot beat that. Instead of having to buy an entire new console or build a PC for hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars, or getting a Samsung TV, which is probably $1,000 or $2,000. You can just get this Fire Stick.
Oh, no, they're not that much.
It's cheaper than the Sony one I bought.
Yeah, pretty much anything that has the Tizen OS.
Well, so I say all that to say, it's better for, like, I'm a PlayStation stan, but I would totally invest in the Fire Stick to be able to get access to Game Pass. 100%, yes.
Yeah, I've got 2. I've got the 4K and then I've got the regular one.
So I think this is a fantastic idea from Xbox. They're definitely doing exactly what their mission statement says. They're meeting gamers where they are. PlayStation, they haven't figured that out yet, especially since with their their PC launches, they're making people sign up for PSN. That's not going to fly. However, with Xbox's, the way that they're handling it, more people can play. So PlayStation really needs to figure that out, because one day they're going to find themselves second in Xbox at the first, because so many more people have Fire Sticks and they can play, instead of having to sign in with the PSN. Just get people in front. It's like that strategy.
You still have to have a Microsoft account,
right? Which I think sort. Okay. Well,
like, I've got my Xbox game Microsoft, like, it's a joint thing.
Yeah.
That I have my accounts.
Right.
I'm telling you, the second that cloud gaming becomes available on my Fire Stick, you guys might not hear from me for like weeks at a time. Like, you'll be like, oh, hey, it's Saturday morning. You did show up,
Right.
I want to throw something out there. Could you imagine if Sony partnered with a competitor to Amazon Prime that rhymes with Jetflix?
Oh my gosh.
All the way back to the top of the conversation.
Oh my
no, I mean, Netflix games already exist.
It does.
Yeah, but Netflix is on my list, and they are not likely to get my business back anytime soon.
Well, fortunately, Gigi, there are more gamers than just you. No, I'm just imagining, like, okay, well, maybe Sony missed out on, maybe we don't know. I mean, maybe behind the scenes there were, Amazon was having negotiations with both Microsoft and Sony, found that the Microsoft offer was better, left Sony out in the cold. Now Sony's got to look for someone to partner with to deliver the same thing that Amazon could have done, and went with the biggest streaming service in the world, Netflix. Why not?
Right on.
Either that or they'll go with Hulu. I doubt Hulu, but it would be cool if they partnered up with Netflix. But I have a PlayStation, so it's not like I'm going back there. But I also have Prime, and I mean, so many of us have Prime, and I mean, I didn't know about Prime Gaming until a few years ago, and it just happened to be like in an article. I don't always socialize or pay attention to everything, but I'm like playing around, and I saw something. They were like, go to Prime Gaming, and I was like, what is this? Like, this is included in my monthly charge, you know? Like, this is awesome. And that's back, I think, when they were trying to do the whole Luna device thing. But yeah, like, I mean, think about how smart Microsoft is. Like, everybody has a Prime membership.
Basically, basically.
Pretty much everybody has a Prime membership. Prime Gaming is included in this membership cost. Like
Mhm.
you just opened so many doors
Yeah.
to your
Crazy.
service that you provide,
Yeah.
and Game Pass already kills it.
Yeah.
Already kills it.
Right on. I think, okay, so going back, with PlayStation, with them selling their games on PC, with it not being like a service, like with Game Pass, it's kind of like your Netflix or your Hulu or something like that. You got to create register and log into that. But for the offshoots, you're just selling it on PC and it's not connected to like your cloud service or anything like that. I don't think you should be requiring people to, create a PSN just to play the game. That's crazy. I think it's nuts. For Game Pass, because it's a subscription service, we're all familiar with that model. You have to sign up with Hulu. You got your, login and password with Netflix and Prime and all that good stuff, which I think is totally fine. It's a service, you can access to all that stuff. But for a single game, for God of War, for Ghost of Tsushima, I don't think you should have to get a PSN just to play the game. I think that's absolutely ridiculous. Sony needs to fix that. But I think
I don't even understand their rationale behind that.
Yeah. Same. Real quick, before we get into comments, we are going to look at comments today. I would ask everyone to like, share, and subscribe. In Knoss's and Gigi's, their information is going to be in the description if you want to visit their profiles and their YouTubes, their Twitches, and their Twitters. I recommend that you do. It's a lot different than the content that we have over here, and it will tickle your fancy. Almost guarantee that. So before we're going to get into chat, we're going to start from the top here. Hopefully I did this right. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Hold your breath. Yeah, we did it.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. It's top of the morning to ya, Lord Beerus. Good Catterday meowing and all you incredible cats and kittens. I hope you all had a fantastic week doing all the sensational things that you do in your 9 lives. These cat puns are a catastrophe. Catastrophe.
Oh, God, really pulling them all out for that one.
Got me smiling.
Yeah. Lord Beerus, Hello Fox Clan, Master Fox, Nos, the Maverick Hunter boss. Hey, okay. Hold on, Beerus. Scotty, the Knight of Killer Instinct, Ken, the Final Fantasy heroine, J Boog, John Panda, Lil Bunny, and everyone who supports this network. Hello to you too, sir. But Liz, the Nos, the Maverick Hunter boss. Oh gosh, you got me on that one. Dang it. That is better. That's a better one. Putin bot. You mean like a farting bot?
Hey, what's
Greetings,
up?
humans. Love it.
That's awfully
You want to
presumptuous.
talk about somebody hilarious too?
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Putin. You need to check out his stuff too.
Your favorite bot has arrived. Howdy, gamer girl.
Yes. Hey. Nice to see you. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Yeah, 100%. We love, people jumping on in the comments,
Heck yeah.
Lord Beerus. But of course, I couldn't forget the sole inspiration for the entire art collection in the MoMA in the Louvre combined, aka
Don't cover your face.
Gorgeous Geek Lovely
rubbing my
Lounge.
eyes.
She looks enchanting like a Disney princess. That's super sweet.
There it goes.
Sure. Stop. You're making it worse.
Right on.
My super blush. Thank you.
Super blush. Your blush wears a cape.
That's right. You can call me Gamer Girl or Gamer Geek. I really don't care.
Right on.
You're awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
I thought that was intentional.
Yeah, I actually didn't think anything of it. I was like,
Yeah.
it's so sweet.
Lord Beerus, Putin bot, welcome. And then howdy, Lord Beerus. And then Lord
Yeah, he's
Beerus,
our favorite
we're happy to have your AI joining us. And he says, I'm happy to be here.
Beep, boop, bop, bop.
Right on. R2D2. Lord Beerus, I have to give props to our panel. Fox wrote a sensational book that everyone should read, no questions about it. Nos slayed X2 like a gladiator, and Ken is dominating Final Fantasy IV. I need to check out her streams. Man, I've been falling behind on all that stuff. The Twitch game.
Her streams are good as usual.
Right on.
Yeah.
Very entertaining. Very entertaining streamer to watch.
Yeah.
She's usually on before I am, so I'll try and pop in there every once in a while. Last time I time before that, she was just finishing a Zelda game, and I'm like, I have to go. I want to see this fight.
Yeah.
The timing was terrible, but
Yeah.
Kenshin
always
Girl
entertaining.
has like a really, really great stream.
Yeah.
She's a
got
lot
the
of fun to watch.
personality, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything that she does, it's just so much fun. I don't always get to watch like live or anything like that, but I'll go to the past streams and catch what I can. I'm pretty often interrupted by my kid going, hey. One of them. Or the ones that don't live here will call and be like, oh, crisis. So.
Crisis. Right on.
Yeah.
Putinbot. My wife isn't a gamer unless you count Animal Crossing. That she is a gamer then. I count
She's
Animal
a gamer.
Crossing for sure.
She's a cozy gamer. That's
yes.
what we call it.
Yep.
You know what I always wonder? Like, I've never really wanted to apply that term to myself. Call myself a gamer.
Yeah.
It's to me. It's, do you consider yourself a gamer? Then you're a gamer.
Yeah. Right on.
That's it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's a good rule of thumb for sure. Lord Beers, Scotty is keeping the UK awesome with John and Geek. Well, she is just being incredible by being herself every day. She thinks she is the perfect girl. I can't reply to that without making her cry. It's
I don't think I'm the perfect girl. You know it. I need to run away.
Oh gosh, I'm an idiot. Oh my gosh.
Nos, you get too much pleasure out of it.
I do.
It's too gleeful.
I wouldn't say
you.
too much. I would say just enough.
I would say you probably want more.
Hey.
I came down with. I won't be here next week.
Right on. I do hope your cat feels better. Is she?
He's getting better, thank God.
Okay.
They gave us. So I had one that got very, very sick like this.
Yeah.
That passed away, and it was a very traumatic thing. So when I have a cat that gets that sick, it brings back all that trauma.
Yeah.
So I was very, very scared yesterday. And then this morning, I wasn't as scared last night because I kept them kind of. I would wipe him down with a wet washcloth and stuff, and I had a fan in there to kind of keep his temperature down and
Very
stuff.
cool.
But we got some more nausea medicine today, some stuff to help stimulate appetite and all that other stuff. So it's looking up so far. So I'm hopeful, but still very exhausted and very stressed out. So,
yeah. My goodness. Okay. Well, I know Lord Bear's is going to probably make you feel better.
He
or
always
at
does.
least distract you.
Yeah.
He's actually been talking me through it.
Very cool. Oh
this
my
whole week.
God. Such a great dude.
So
Seriously.
he's one of my favorite people in the whole world.
Yeah.
And I probably would have been a super wreck without his support this week and his friendship. And it's just, he's just an all around great guy, you know, and I like that to cheer me up. He sent me some previews of some of his upcoming work.
Very cool.
And I'm like, I feel like that girl, that fan that paid that fan club membership, and I get the extras.
So for
for
anybody that's not aware, he's also got Battletoads Double Dragon Ultimate Team on NES gameplay that he's uploading.
The Double Dragon is
which is a game I never knew existed.
I know Double Dragon. It's like
that one's so good. Oh my gosh! And they had co-op. Like me and my brother would get on it. I think they have the red and the blue. Yes. Dude. Oh my
dude. So I
good.
recently became aware of something that I had memory hold for. Like I had this little, those Tiger console things, like those little portable game things.
Yes, the ones that they're starting to bring back now at GameStop. Not as good, but they've got them at GameStop now. Like I saw the X-Men one the other day when I was in there.
I had an old Double Dragon one.
Oh.
And I was talking to Lord Beers about it. He actually found one on eBay that was being sold that still worked. I'm like, I'm tempted to buy it, but I'm not really. I'm not the type of person that collects things. But I'm still thinking about that one.
The nostalgia, though, like.
Yeah.
I used to. There was one that I had. It was a Ninja Turtle one. It was all green and awesome,
dope.
and it was like my own Ninja Turtle Game Boy.
Yeah.
I was all about the Ninja Turtles when I was younger, and
Same. I still am. I've got the 1980s figures over there.
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
They're
Well,
awesome.
my mom also put my brother and I in taekwondo together, so
Hmm.
it was both a good
Oh.
idea and a bad idea. But
I mean, because siblings always fight, and now you just kind of elevated it.
we never once fought ever,
Oh, really?
and I never broke his wrist.
Oh, satire. Or what do you call it? Sarcasm. Thank you.
Yeah, he used to beat the heck out of me,
Oh.
man. And like
You told us
when we
about
got to taekwondo, at least I had the padding, and he would do it under the guise of us practicing, and I would be padded up, you know.
Right
So that
on.
was way better than when I was a kid. But
Was it one
Yeah.
of those
I remember-
situations where it was like, hey, we're going to practice right now, and he hits you in the back of the head without any warning?
I know.
Or kicks you in the
well,
face with the socks on. My brother
he
did
that one
Oh,
time, and he was
God.
like,
Like,
he was
like
like,
the
"Hey,
lint got in
let's
my
go."
eye. I was like, frick. But
Yeah.
sorry, go for it.
yeah. My brother did that one time. We were in the living room. And he was like, "Let's do this," and he went to hit me, and I ducked, and I did a sweep kick, and he fell, and I broke his wrist, and I was like, "Well, I'm in trouble." Like,
Well,
like he
technically, the
started
floor
it.
broke his wrist.
He
Yeah.
started it.
my mom was just like, "Well, you shouldn't be messing with her. She's older now."
100%.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to speed it up a little bit. I can hear my wife.
Yeah. I'm sorry, guys.
Yep.
With the kids. No, it's okay. Lord Beers, or John DBZ Beers. I saw Beers there. Beers.
Yeah.
We can joke with Knossig with getting past his anger, so he
Oh.
can bark in to get closer to hope. Nice inside joke. Was that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I just need to conquer my acceptance,
Hmm.
which is something that he will understand.
Yes.
Because that's a part in the game that I just cannot get past. And I know from the trailer that there is more past that,
Yeah. Yeah.
but I can't do it because I'm not good enough yet.
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 I said yet.
Right on. Right on. We're hitting an 11:25. I am so sorry, guys. So I'm gonna have to get off here soon. I guess it's not breakfast now, it's brunch. But let me get your, and we love everybody. Freaking John DBZ, Lord Beers, Putin Bot, welcome. Thank you for joining the stream.
Thank
We really appreciate it. I just kind of run low on time. But before we go here, I guess I could have done it from here. Before we go, final thoughts on what we talked about today.
I'm just really interested. I can't wait to see what's going on with Amazon and Xbox, because like when I saw that earlier this week, I was like,
Yeah.
you know, the part that I saw was about it coming to like Amazon TVs, and I was like, are we talking about like, you know, the Fire TV, like any TV can have access, or is it like an exclusive, like you have to buy the Fire
Yeah.
TV, like you know, infrastructure with TV with that. So, but yeah, I'm actually really interested. I think it's super smart. Like,
Yeah.
I'm excited about that one.
Yeah, smart business decision, but I'm going to wait before I make any judgment on it because I just don't have enough details.
Well, I just got to see it first
Yeah.
and see what it's all about before I can come
And
up
not
with
just
anything.
not just somebody showing off only the good bits, right? I want to see the real experience of it.
Yeah. And I mean, YouTube is going to be flooded with all that stuff. So you'll definitely get a chance to see, you see how it is in the hands of someone who is giving an honest review. Is that definitely, I know the stigma is if they give it to you to try out, you are kind of pressured to give them a good review. So I would definitely, I'm trying to fight the way I feel about that. But if it's someone you trust, totally, you could probably take their review.
I'll send you a
seriously.
Fire Stick and we can all just do it together.
Dude, that would be kind of
Yeah,
cool.
I mean, we could just do that ourselves.
We should.
Yeah.
We should.
Yeah. All right. Let's do it. Let's do that.
All right.
I'm
Okay.
really down. I'm
Yeah.
down.
Same.
So I think
I have
that
to
we
create
should.
a Microsoft account, though. I'm not too happy about that.
Me neither, but Game Pass, I think it's worth it. Game Pass is definitely worth the
I've got like 4 you can sign into.
You can't say that. You can't say that. It's against the terms of service.
Not
GG,
if I'm
come on.
using, not if I'm using my account.
I love it.
But yeah, I remember I got like 2 emails from Microsoft about like updating my terms of service, and I was like, well, when did I have this account? Like my kid's like, you remember when you didn't remember that you made one? And
Yeah.
I'm like, obviously not.
Right on.
Remember when you forgot?
Yeah. Like, listen, you little punk.
All right, Nas, what are your final thoughts on anything that we covered today?
Wait and see. As always, wait and see. Do your research, and I do not agree with anything that Joe Tung said.
100% yes. Yep. I fall to
agree
the
with that
category with
either.
you. Yeah. I agree with both of you then. Joe Tung, I think it's subjective. It's who you get, any gamer particularly, they're gonna have something different to say about that. They might like live services better. They might like the $60 box linear experience.
I don't know
better.
what it is, but
beginning, middle,
I was kind of surprised. I was surprised by how irritated by that article I ended up being.
That's funny. It doesn't surprise me that you were.
I was gonna say
picked
you're
that on purpose,
you're our
didn't you?
cynical one. You're our cynical one. So.
It's like, don't tell me. You don't tell me I like live services better and it's better for gamers. No, sorry,
right.
Tung. I'd make that decision.
What kind of a name is Tung anyway?
Or Lars. Such a
Chinese?
stupid name. I'm just
Imagine
kidding.
those two names combined, Lars Tung.
Oh my god.
I'm sorry.
That's awesome.
I'm so sorry. That's
I
verging
gotta
on
cover
personal
my face
attack.
so you don't do another screenshot.
That's a super villain. That's a super
Lord
villain.
Beerus, this is how we get her to really
Lars
blush,
Tung.
right?
Lars Tung,
Get me laughing.
the super villain of the game industry.
Did you notice what I did with my thumbnail, Nos? I put you in my thumbnail of
You
your little
did?
screen capture that you did last week and sent us.
Oh, I saw that.
I put it on my thumbnail because it has had me laughing for the last week.
Yeah.
And I mean,
great.
it's the greatest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I was like,
Those were all 100% genuine reactions.
Yes.
This is great. I loved it.
That's why it's so good. It's so good. But if we don't have anything else, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up, and then I'll see you guys backstage.
no, you go do your thing, Fox. Thanks for
Right on.
having us this week.
Oh, of
And
course.
everybody, thank you for coming by.
Yeah.
So long,
Bye.
everyone.
Thanks for joining us this week. We hope to see you again soon.
Mm-hmm. Right on. All right, 100% thank you to the panel. They were freaking fantastic. If you want to get more of them, their socials and their YouTube will be in the description. While you're down there, ours is also in the description. You can check us out. And wrote a book. If you want to get a hold of that's going to be down there too. It's very short novella, but if you like romance novels, you'll probably take to this one pretty good. And lastly, but never leastly, thank you to everyone who joined in the conversation, who watched. Without you guys, there would be no reason to get up and do this. You are the reason for the season, so we really appreciate you. Thank you. But you can catch us next Saturday, same time. Until then, keep it casual. Peace.